Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Saturday, February 28th, 2015, around 8:33 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's cold out, and tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy, and we're going to get some snow. Most of Massachusetts are either under a winter storm warning or a winter weather advisory. Some places could get up to 8 inches of snow. What is it? It's still winter, and this weather pattern might not change for a while. We've got to get used to it because it might take to spring before we could get above average temperatures. Some news to report. The Boston Bruins beat the Arizona Coyotes by a score of 4-1. 2-game winning streak by the Boston Bruins, which is good, but they need some players at the trading deadline. And also Kentucky Wildcats, men's basketball team, now 29-0. And there's been rumors that Medusa Michelli, also known as Alundra Blaze, is going to be the next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. And an announcement could come on Monday Night Raw, and there's been rumors that Race the Clipper Stevens will not be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015. That's just a rumor. And that's about it on that. My third and final video blog subject of the night is a personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is the last in the series of African American people in honor of Black History Month, and I'm choosing tonight one of the best NBA centers of all time, Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing was probably the best New York Knicks player of all time. He was a center, played 17 seasons in the NBA with the first 15 with the New York Knicks, and he changed the franchise around. Patrick Ewing was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and when he was a young boy in Jamaica, he played cricket and soccer, and he moved to the United States at the age of 12 to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and then he learned how to play basketball, and he was a star basketball player center for Cambridge Windsor Lantern High School, and he was heavily recruited to be on colleges. They were coming all across the country to recruit Patrick Ewing because they saw star potential. He signed a letter of intent to play for the University of North Carolina, but when he went to North Carolina, he saw a lot of racism. He even saw like a Ku Klux Klan meeting going, and he decided against going to the University of North Carolina. And then he signed a letter of intent to play for Georgetown University, and when he was at Georgetown, he became a United States citizen. And Patrick Ewing played for Georgetown University from 1981 through 1985, and he had an awesome college career 3 times. He played in the NCAA Final Four. 1982, Georgetown lost to North Carolina because they had Michael Jordan. 1984, Patrick Ewing won. He beat Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Cougars. In 1985, Georgetown lost to the Villanova Wildcats, which was one of the greatest Cinderella stories in NCAA basketball history. And Patrick Ewing was a 3-time All-American. 1985, he won the NCAA College Basketball Player of the Year. He also was 2-time Big East Player of the Year, and he was the NCAA Final Four Tournament MVP in 1984, and he was the top prospect going into the 1985 NBA draft. And this was the first year in 1985 that there was a draft lottery to see who gets the number 1 pick. That the NBA decided to have a draft lottery because teams were tanking, trying to get the number 1 pick. If you finished with the worst record in the NBA for years, you would have guaranteed the number 1 pick. But many owners didn't like that, so they wanted to give all the teams that did not make the playoffs an equal chance to get the number 1 pick. And it happened to be the year that the New York Knicks were in the draft lottery. That's the biggest market in the world, New York City, for television in U.S. And when they did the draft lottery, somehow New York won the draft lottery because other teams in it were like the Golden State Warriors and Indiana Pacers and Los Angeles Clippers, among others, and there would have been no chance that the NBA would allow like Patrick Ewing to play for either the Clippers, the Warriors, or the Pacers around that time. They wanted him in New York, and the Knicks won. I think that lottery was fixed so the Knicks could get Patrick Ewing. They drafted him number 1 in 1985, and he had a great career with the New York Knicks. He won 1986 Rookie of the Year for the NBA. 11 times he played in the NBA All-Star Game. 1 time he was All-NBA First Team. 6 times he was All-NBA Second Teams. 3 times he was NBA Defensive Player of the Year. And he played in 2 NBA Finals, 1994, 1999. And he also, 13 times he averaged 20 or more points per game. He was on the all-time 50 NBA greatest players of all time, and he was on the 1992 Dream Team, and he was one of the most dominating centers in NBA history. And when he started playing for the Knicks in 1985, they weren't the greatest of teams, and for a few years, Patrick Ewing was only the star player for the team, but steadily they built a team around Patrick Ewing, and they eventually added players like Allen Houston and Anthony Mason and John Stark and a few others, and surely but surely that the Knicks became a powerhouse in the Eastern Conference. They won a few Atlantic Division championships, and they did good in the NBA playoffs, but there was one roadblock that the Knicks had to get through to try to get to the NBA Finals. That was the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. They faced off against the Knicks, and the Bulls faced off against each other a few times in the playoffs. But it was the Bulls who always beat the Knicks because they had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and a few others. And a lot of people were saying Patrick Ewing was not going to get to the NBA Finals. But when Michael Jordan retired in 1993, that left the Eastern Conference wide open for a team to get to the NBA Finals. 1994, the New York Knicks went to the NBA Finals. They became the Eastern Conference champions, and they faced off a grueling 7-game series against the Houston Rockets, but in the end, the Rockets won 4-3. That NBA Finals was infamous for Game 5 when it was being played. They had to cut through it because of the infamous O.J. Simpson car chase. And the Knicks did not get back to the NBA Finals again into 1999, which was kind of a fluke year because the NBA had 50-game season, and the Knicks were the number 8 seed. They were the first and only time a number 8 seed made it to the NBA Finals, but they lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Patrick Ewing was fading. He was kind of the downside of his career. The Knicks traded him in 2000 to the Seattle Sonics, but he wasn't that good. Then he ended his career with the Orlando Magic, 2001, 2002, and he retired. And he's the all-time New York Knicks scorer. His number 33 is retired by the Knicks, and his career stats were 24,815 points, which he averaged 21 points per game. And he also had rebounds, 11,617 rebounds, 9.8 rebounds per game. And his block shots was 2,894, which averaged 2.4 block shots per game. He was a first ballot Hall of Fame in 2008, and for many years, Patrick Ewing has been an assistant coach for several NBA teams, including the Wizards, the Rockets, the Magic. And he's now an associate coach for the Charlotte Hornets, and Patrick Ewing is trying to become one of these days an NBA head coach. But he's had a few interviews, but he hasn't gotten a head coaching position yet. But it seems like some of the superstar players in any sport do not usually make good head coaches, and I don't know why and stuff. But Who knows? Maybe Patrick Ewing could be an NBA head coach one of these days. You never know. And that's about it on Patrick Ewing. And I'll be back tomorrow. Facebook friends, YouTube followers, Stanley Motion, and Twitter. 3 more video blogs. First video blog will be about March Madness for the NCAA men's basketball tournament. I'm going to tell you all about it. And the second video blog I'm going to tell you tomorrow is about the former WWE Tag Team Champions, the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And the third and final video blog of the day will be about my personality profile, which this upcoming week, it's a theme week. It's going to be about greatest Toronto Maple Leafs and greatest Toronto Blue Jays players of all time. It's going to alternate day by day for a week. And the first one I'm going to talk about is former Maple Leafs captain Rick Vaive. And this week, for the next upcoming week, for the personality profiles will be George Bell, Wendell Clark, and Dave Steve, and Matt Sundin, and Carlos Delgado, and Doug Gilmore. And the week after that, March 8th, will be the March Madness video blogs week for like personality profiles, how 7 people associate with March Madness and stuff. And the WrestleMania reviews are coming March 14th, because that's the earliest day a WrestleMania was held, WrestleMania 20. But I'm going to review the first WrestleMania on March 14th. No top 10 list for the month of March because it's going on hiatus. And Major League Baseball previews coming at the end of the month. And sooner or later, Julie Bratton and Heidi Pratt's video blogs. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter.